So in Stranger Things 3, you guys, aside from facing the monster in Hawkins, have to face the monster that is adolescence. What were your reactions when you first read the script and learned what your characters were going to go through?
We loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember reading the script and really just like, it's a surprise every season, just getting to read the scripts and like at the table read, all going through it and like seeing it come to life. And then when you watch it like on TV, it's so different from when you read it.
What's great about the script and what's great about when we're reading it and getting to know your characters, that basically what you read on the script is what you get on camera. Like they know exactly what they want and their way of describing everything in the script. It seems to translate perfectly onto the screen, which seems impossible considering how much detail they put into writing the script. So reading it like that, it feels like you're like already immersed into the story.
It's interesting really learning about our characters for each season because we have to learn our characters' emotions, like depending on how Lucas is romantically, how is he in grief. We just have to learn all of their aspects.
And they grow up a lot this season. You guys have to get into, like the gang gets into their first relationships. And you know, everyone has to deal with it. Even like Will, who's not in a couple, has to like deal with his friends being in a couple. So what was that like, filming that whole thing, considering you guys sort of grew up together?
How do you feel about?
How do you feel about being left out of the couple?
I mean, it's kind of sad for Will this season just because everyone's like growing up faster than him and he's kind of behind because he was in the Upside Down and he's like...
He's kind of behind on the times a little bit.
Yeah, and everyone's all going up and growing up and becoming teenagers and he just wants to go back to how it was before and like, yeah.
How about, like for Caleb and Sadie, what was it like being in that couple in like sort of a chaotic relationship?
Our relationship on the show isn't as intense as Mike and Eleven, so it wasn't that challenging. Just went into it as regular teenagers.
I feel like Mike and Eleven's their relationship is like the kind of like on-screen like romance, like very like amped up, right? And then we're like the opposite.
Yeah, total opposite.
Sadie, you and Elle, your character and Elle's character strike up a really cool friendship, and it was one of the most enjoyable parts of the season, actually. Why do you think it's important to have that in the show?
Yeah, I think Max and Eleven's friendship is the first kind of strong female friendship that you see on the show. So it's nice to have that, and I think the show really needed that. And they both learn from each other, and I don't know, it's kind of like a weird pairing because Eleven's more quiet, and then Max is so like loud.
Yeah, they're sort of like opposites.
Right, exactly.
It was really fun to watch.
Oh.
How about Gaten? Yes. What was it like working with Maya Hawke? Because she's a new face.
She's great. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I'm really glad that, well, I heard there were going to be new characters joining the show, and when I found out that I was going to be able to interact with them so much in the show, I was very, very excited. And working with Maya is great. She's super talented. She's actually gone through quite a lot, and she has a lot of really cool stories about like growing up like in a similar situation that we did, and so it's really cool getting to hear it from someone who's a little bit older than us. But she's great, and I'm really excited for people to see her character.
What's it like, you know, when you have to film those scenes with the monsters and you have to like act with like monster stand-ins?
Hard, because I was watching the show and it's like one of the monsters we're supposed to be scared at. Like I had no idea what it looked like, and so I was like, "Dang, I should have been more scared."
Yeah, sometimes, right? Yeah. You remember one scene? It's later. I forget what episode it is. I think it's 5 or 6.
Is this in 3 or 2 or?
No, this is in 3. But I'm not gonna mention.
Oh, okay.
There was like the monster. There was a guy standing with like a silver ball on his head. You remember in that jumpsuit? It was weird.
Yes.
And it was so funny. I know
it was so.
He looked very funny.
Get to perfect.
There's a lot of times where we're just laughing.
Oh, but in the first season, before like they were really going for like a practical effect type feel for the Demogorgon, and Mark, who is the actor who played the Demogorgon, had this really intricate, really cool Demogorgon suit, and I was there for the scene when Barb is in the pool. In the Upside Down. So when she gets like transported into the Upside Down, I would watch that scene play out, and Mark was absolutely terrifying, because like the way his body movements, like he studied the movements of the Demogorgon. That was probably the easiest for anyone to get into character, watching Mark play the Demogorgon. But now that they're doing a lot more CGI, it can be hard when there's like bright green lights.
Really test our acting abilities.
How do you prep for that? Do you have to
music? our clothing really gets us into our characters. So.
Yeah. Just think about exactly how you would react in a certain situation like that.
Yeah.
Like put yourself in their shoes.
Just act.
Yeah.
So this season, it's all about change. The characters are growing up. Even like the look of the show is different. It's more colorful. But for you guys, what makes it the same Stranger Things that people love? What makes it the same? Aside from the monsters, obviously.
Right, I was gonna say monsters.
I feel like it's still just like a group of kids fighting, or a group, like trying to fight another.
It's
the
the characters that
controversy
we love.
between the friendships and how we all separated and end up meeting again at the end.